Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. I don't want to be hard on this young lady, right? But what I can say is that I love the fact that she is addressing the anti-blackness within Latino community because this is something that need to be like there is need for them to sit down and talk about it because it is way too much. So she also talked about how, that there once black people and brown people divided because I mean they are easy target when they are not united. Now let me tell you something. Nobody's actually dividing anybody, and nobody actually wants you divided. You people are the ones that want everything, like that wants you and black people to be divided. Because tell me it's 2025 and you all already know your history. And you all know how the importance of black people or the role black people played in every community, right? When people appreciate you, they will do everything they can to bring you close to them or to run close to you. But when people do not appreciate you, when people take advantage of you, they will only come close when they need you and run away when they do not need you. And this has been the role you people have been playing all this while. So it's got nothing like dividing or anybody trying to, it is you people that intentionally want to divide yourself out from black community because you feel like your skin color and my skin color are not the same. And maybe some of you have skin color privilege. Let's get into this video.
Now that I have addressed the racism within my own community, let's talk about the anti-blackness that exists within the Latin American communities. So I wanted to take my time before I made this video. I knew it was coming, but I had to go out in, the field and ask my people what's going on. So this is what I concluded. When I went to go talk to them, they said that, we don't like African Americans because they feel that we owe them something. I want to make two things clear. First, I want to start off by saying that when we say things like this, we are following the same agenda that we are fighting against. We are fighting against white supremacy and racism. Those ideas that, that we have, the way we think, the way we are taught to fear African Americans, that is the same thing that we are fighting against. It's no different. When we choose to speak like this and participate in these stereotypes, we are no better than the people we are fighting against. And that is a point I want to make very clear to the people within my community, that you guys sound ignorant. We need to figure it out. Where do you truly stand with this? Because, people are right. You can't ask African Americans for help when this is in the real world. That is how they are treated. My second point. Reparations are owed to the African American community. Without them, we would not be able to vote. We would not be able to go to the same schools. We would not be able to sit wherever we want. Let's not forget. They have been fighting for a very long time, since they came here. And us not acknowledging, I know I don't feel that as a country we have paid the respect that they owe. They really do. We owe them everything. It's because of greats. They're great people. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., the Black Panthers, they paved the way for us. They are the blueprint. And for us to go and participate in the same mentality that we are fighting against, it's just horrible. And it's wrong. If we don't fix this type of mentality and check our people, we are no better than the people we are up against. I want you to know that ignorance is our greatest enemy. So please do not allow yourself to be blinded by hate. I love and respect everybody. And I just want to say that if there's more people in the Latin community who are with me, I need y'all to say something. I need y'all to join the fight with me because I can't be the only one. I know everybody views the world through their own experiences, but kindness and empathy are free. We are taught to hate each other because of our differences, when in reality, that's what makes us beautiful. This is a fight against white supremacy, racism, fascism, classism, and the freedom to be who you are. We, the people, are not the problem. It's our administration. They want us divided because we are easier to target when we are not united. But it's 2025, and it's time to stop carrying the hate from those who tried to colonize us. We as a country cannot heal if we are always on survival mode. So I just want to take the time to spread light and positivity and unity because at the end of the day, that's what this is about.
I am noticing a very unsettling expectation for Black people to have to put their bodies on the line time and time again for everybody else. Buckle up because I want to have another ugly, uncomfortable conversation, but that's what this app is for. We got to have it. So I got my little support plushie, say hi. We're going to have this conversation because it needs to be had. For most of American history, the burden of fighting for freedom and civil liberties has almost always fallen on mostly Black folks. Not to take away from some other people, but for the most part, it was Black folks. Also, just want to specify Black Americans. I have been noticing an unsettling entitlement to Black bodies whenever shit is going down in this country. Stay with me. Guys, remember in 2020 with the Stop Asian Hate, remember there was that disgusting wave of racism against Asian Americans because of COVID, right? I remember because it was around the time of Black Lives Matter that we were kind of called to the front of the line. I clocked it again in 2024 when the protests were erupting for the genocide that's currently happening in Gaza against the Palestinian people. And I remember Black Lives Matter being thrown right back in our faces. Remember? Clock it. I remember. Black folks were also called to the front of the line. It's 2025 and I'm noticing it again right now with all the tension that's going on with Trump and ICE and the deportations and the witch hunt that's happening, right? Where I'm seeing a lot of Hispanic, and it's not all, I'm not trying to blanket statement anything, but I'm noticing a lot of Hispanics get on this app demanding, once again, well, where are the Black people? Why aren't y'all at the protests? What happened to Black and brown? Okay. I keep hearing again and again, well, what happened to Black and brown? What happened to us? What happened to Black and brown? And what I want to ask is, Black showed up for the polls. Black was at the polls. We showed up, we showed out, we stayed 10 toes down. For you, for us, for everybody. But if we look at the numbers, 92% of Black women voted for Kamala. And I think around 80-something% of Black men voted for Kamala. But the numbers for Latino voters jumped up 10 points for Trump. The Latino vote is a lot more split and was a lot more closer compared to the Black vote. I don't even want to talk about the Asian vote. Don't even want to look at it. And if you're someone who's ever studied political science or has taken any statistics class, you would know that 90-something%, anything above 51%, is impressive and is considered a majority. It's hard to get 51% of any group of people, regardless of their race, gender, or whatever, in this country to vote one way on anything. So the fact that this past election, 92% of Black women stayed 10 toes down against this foolishness is a statistical miracle. But it's not a surprise because it's how we've always been. We always have had this herd mentality. Are there Black people who voted for Trump? Absolutely. But it's minuscule if you really think about it. For most of American history, the burden of fighting for civil liberties against oppression has almost always fallen on the shoulders of Black Americans. And I see a lot of immigrants who come get their papers, get their documents. They get that pretty little blue passport. And they forget why they have it in the fucking first place. And what a lot of immigrants fail to realize is that they would have never let your brown ass in if they hadn't let our black ass go. Whether you immigrated from Asia, Africa, South America, wherever, you really think they would have let you in if they had never let us go? Black people are not the Avengers. We are not the Justice League. We are not, you cannot expect us to assemble every fucking time some shit is going down. Y'all got used to this on this app. A lot of people do this. But it's funny, when it comes to the polling, when it comes to election results, this never matches up with the numbers. People voted for their own self-interest, where the black community, I feel like we get it. For the most part, we get it. We stay 10 toes down. And back to the Hispanic people on this app who are upset with black folks. Somehow we're in the mix. Somehow it's our fault. Somehow we're the bad guys for not showing up to the protest. Why on earth would you expect us to put our bodies on the line again? Given the context of black protests and how unsafe it is for us to protest, you know it's unsafe for us to protest, and yet you're still here demanding and asking why we're not out there. And to that I say, most of us did our part. If there are black people out there who want to protest, who want to go out in the streets, mwah, love you, be safe. But I don't know about y'all, but about me, this past election was a slap in the face. I'm going to repost. I'm going to make my little videos. I'm going to get my little plushie. I'm going to keep it safe. And I would encourage other black women to just know that it's okay to play it safe. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to feel the sense of betrayal, because I'm not going to lie, we feel betrayed. And I'm a little tired of the demonization for us choosing to kind of just take a step back. Because again, we're not the Avengers. We're not going to keep putting our bodies on the line. We can't, it's not sustainable, y'all. There's not enough of us to keep putting our bodies on the line for everybody. This feels like a group project. We showed up, we did the work, and I feel like everybody just kind of reaps the benefits. That's how it feels. But in this case, in this group project, we failed. And the people who didn't pull in, who didn't pull their weight, who didn't do their part, are looking at us, pissed off. Well, why did we get a C when they didn't pull their weight? That's how I feel. And I understand that some of you are feeling what you're feeling right now. Tensions are high. It's a scary time that we're living in. But you got to ask yourself why, when shit hits the fan, why do you always lean on black women to come in and swoop in and save the day? I'm not seeing this energy towards Asian women. I'm not seeing this energy towards white women. I'm not even seeing this energy towards Hispanic women who, I'm sorry, they betrayed you in the polls. It's really anti-blackness, but I mean, there's so many layers to this discussion. Woo! But I said what I had to say. So, good night. Listen, I understand it's easy to believe that racism is why Trump won the last election, but racism is not an invention of the 21st century. Racism was not going to be enough to be able to flip key battleground states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin from blue to red in just 4 years. Something shifted within the American voter between 2020 and 2024. And if we don't lock in and get to the bottom of this, it's going to happen in 2028, because history, what? Repeats itself. And we never what? We never learn. And yes, gerrymandering, voter suppression, xenophobia, and the Democratic Party played key roles in people flipping sides. Yes. But I want to argue that above all, fear is really what worked this time around. Fear draws on your emotions, and he who can control your emotions controls you. Politicians have always used fear-mongering and propaganda to push whatever they want to push. I think it's through the algorithm of a lot of social media platforms that promote and brag about how they curate this personalized scrolling experience for everybody. And it's through these algorithms that people in power can manipulate our emotions, change our beliefs, and curate new anxieties. It's an exploitation of the average American voter who is usually uninformed, susceptible to propaganda, and has no idea how our government really works. I've spent the last few days thinking about how my For You page is set up very differently than everyone else's For You page. In some of my recent videos, I talked about how I kept getting videos of Hispanic people getting on the app and asking why Black folks were not getting on the front lines and why they weren't protesting. And I remember that these are videos that I have seen. But I noticed that some of the comments I got on that video were of people saying, well, I haven't seen anything like that. Show me where that happened. And it makes me realize that if people aren't seeing it themselves, then it's just not happening in their mind. And if they don't get spammed with certain type of content, then to them, it's not happening. I studied political science. I have a bachelor's in political science. I've learned about propaganda. But how many times have I fallen to propaganda? Propaganda does not always look like people waving banners and whatever, and picket signs and all that. Sometimes propaganda can be delivered in the form of everyday people. And I don't care how smart you are, we are all susceptible to propaganda. I have caught myself a few times falling for propaganda. Social media skews our worldview. It messes and it distorts the way we want to see the world. Sometimes the algorithm will show you the kind of videos that you agree with. And sometimes it's going to boost videos that they know are going to piss you off. Because engagement is engagement at the end of the day. Whether it's positive or negative, engagement is engagement. I think about the average Facebook mom or Facebook uncle who gets those weird little dumb memes. You know what I'm talking about. And the younger ones, we look up at them like, you don't believe that shit, do you? But think of all the people who believe everything they read online. I don't know. I hear a lot of people on the left, online, of course, my algorithm, who like to get on here and say that, well, Trump won because of racism. If you voted for Trump, you're racist. And could that possibly be part of the reason? Yeah, but I think there's more at play here. I think we got to think bigger.
I know the diaspora wars, they're frustrating, they're tiring, but it creates a dialogue sometimes that's very necessary. And this is why I don't really have a problem with it too tough sometimes. Granted, I get frustrated with that. There's going to be Black people on all sides, Caribbean, African, and African American, that is going to never let go of this, you hurt my feelings and you said this to me first, back in days of ignorance and lack of education. But ultimately, the desire for unity between us is because we understand that we have to heal so that it doesn't seem performative. And a desire for harmony and unity amongst us is rooted differently in what many other POC communities and YT communities have. Because see, I see other communities as it's the power of greed. It's the power of the greed of finances and power that shoots them up there. And it may shoot shit up there, but it's never going to keep you there long. And that's why now that the Roman Empire is falling, because YT people's time is absolutely up. If you're paying attention to what's happening around you, the tide is literally changing. Our ancestors are telling us that the tide is changing and we about to have to get into some shit. But when the Roman Empire falls, they fall too, because there is no unity off of the basis like ours. It's strictly off of the dislike of you and the desire for financial greed and power. They want to assimilate and get the respect that they think YT people get, when YT people are literally hated everywhere. They just hoard the resources for so long, and people have been still trying to find ways how to break the fuck loose. But black people, on the other hand, our unity, our recipe, it's magic, and it works when it needs to get some things done, even in small increments. And this is why so many leech off of the idea of wanting black and brown unity, is because when we want to unify, or our desire for unity or harmony is because we thoroughly actually like each other. We actually want to see each other successful. We want peace and protection. We all want each other to feel safe, and we have respect for one another. This is why I understand the attack of the FBA. Now, FBA originally was just so that we can identify the lineage, my lineage of African American people, so we could fight for reparations. But some of you have become so angry, but again, because of feelings, right? Feelings of people who have said things and generalizations that all of us have had about one another. And your resentment caused you to make ridiculous decisions, like in that political, and like in the voting. And you notice that 20% of, unfortunately, black men that voted for Donald Trump, they are part of the FBA movement. So I understand the vicious attacks that we have on one another, because we want to know, listen, we need to work it out, and go ahead and get heard. Hear us as well. We need to fix this, because blackness is about love and unity. And if you're not going to be about this, we will find a way to excommunicate your ass and remove you. We're going to put your ass in, make yourself aware. But we understand that that's not the majority of the African American community, numbers wise. We clearly see that. So it's just kind of like, yeah, I understand sometimes why these conversations need to be had. And I understand why the conversations, period, between different communities is being had as well. A lot of people want to act like the Negro, and I'm just saying Negro as a blanket statement for black Americans. I'm not specifically talking actually about African Americans. A lot of people want to act like the Negro culturally. A lot of people want to look like the Negro culturally. A lot of people want to sound like the Negro culturally, but you don't want to learn from the Negro. They said the first will be last and the last will become first. That ain't, when we say these things, it ain't because we talking about, yeah, we're going to be powerful and we about to do something to everybody. No. It's not saying that we're going to get all the money and we're going to block everybody. No. That actual humanity that lies within us, our actual, the need for us to be the arbiters of morality that truly lies in us, is why we had a slow start, because this world wasn't built on that. And we were trying to navigate while keeping that, and we did. But the tide is changing and it's coming. Pay attention to what is happening on this fucking soil in this land. So yes, do I need us to wrap them diasporal conversations up? Yeah, because we've all been xenophobic to each other. But, and understand the root. And I truly realized this when I listened to an African man's story on here, how he specifically said that he got into contracting and he would watch the Latino workers try to get him to remove the African American men workers there, and tell them and use an immigrant status card as if that really had some level of foundation or unity amongst it, and how the African American man don't need to work. He I guess already here, he got here, as if you weren't identifying him truly by color, and you wouldn't plot against him as well next, even though he was, he owned the company and stuff like that. And I watched the comments of even black people in Canada saying the same thing, how people of the Middle Eastern and Arab communities are coming in there to try to box them out of places. And this is why they understand globally how we have to have each other's back. But globally, we have all technically had each other's back. Yes, we have done some inner fighting. Yes, we have said some shit. Yes, customs and cultures are different, and we have offended one another. But we have all, historically, that's the only history that I remember. That's the only history I remember. And notice how anytime they try to get us a divide, they bring up what happened in Africa. They try to tell you, oh, well, y'all sold each other and stuff like that. Why I see people try that shit all the time. And African Americans, we shut that shit down. You know what they're trying to do. So, yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. The tide is changing. It's some form of spiritual awakening. I don't know what's going on. But African American plots that they try to deeply bury under buildings and stuff from the massacres of like Tulsa, Oklahoma have popped up. 19 skulls have been returned back home to Louisiana of African American previously enslaved women and men that checked in relatively healthy to hospitals with minor conditions, and they never left the hospitals. We know the plantations are magically burning. Things are changing. And I'll talk on another sense of what I think specifically the African American community needs to do, which the African and the Caribbean communities already have. But yeah, I see it. And I just wanted to put that out there. There's a reason for it. We different. And they want the juice. And they need the sauce. Let us continue to work. Because the time is coming where we're going to need every fucking body to be hands on deck.
All I can say is that sometimes, like you said, like they are not the problem that the government is. You people are, I mean, like human beings are also the problem, including you people, because this government, it was because you people voted him in that made things became very, very bad. If you all had listened when black people called everybody to order to come and let them do the right thing, I am sure all these things would not have been a problem, right? I love the fact that she acknowledged the anti-blackness in their community, and sincerely speaking, the anti-blackness is so horrible. I don't know how to explain it, but it's something that I do not even like. I feel like, how can they behave the way they behave? But then going back and forth, sitting down, thinking about it, I feel like it's just jealousy. Because tell me how somebody, like, from nowhere, you just do not want black people to, like, get anything that they deserve. I mean, you must really be an enemy of progress. Because if there is something that I have learned from black people, is that I have watched black people help other people. Why? Because they understand what it means to be oppressed. Being oppressed is not a good thing. They have been through so many things. And you all also have been through a lot too. Not like you people are not going through it. You all understood what it means to be oppressed, how it feels. But you all do not want to show that side of you. You always act like it's okay. Like, your life is good. You never went through anything. But then when black people talk about their experiences and all that, you all will come back to say that black people's experiences of slavery, or how they talk about their life, overshadows your own experience. How can it overshadow your own experience? It is you telling your story and standing on your story. See, I have told you people several times that if there is something that I have learned from you, is the fact that you do not close your mouth. That is a biggest flex. You do not close your mouth when something is going bad. You say it, no matter how hard it is, whether people want to hear it or not. You never back down. You never backtrack. You stand on it and you keep screaming it. It's something that I saw you people do, and I love it. It's good. But no, they will not talk about their own experience. They will not talk about their problem. They will keep quiet and then expect you that is not in their community to know what is going on in their community. Even if you know, you are not supposed to speak on what is going on, not until they start creating awareness on a good level, and then start asking you to please assist us. The only time they come out to speak is when it goes wrong. See, nobody should tell me. I know what I am saying. Because I have been documenting. I talk about black people. That is my own major responsibility, right? Other people that I add to this channel is for people to see what they are doing to black people. So I have seen what they have been doing to my own people. I have told you people that if these people did not learn about 2 years ago, this is 2025, probably in 2023, if they did not, 2022, 2023, if they did not learn from what Ron DeSantis did them, I am not sure they are going to learn. I'm not sorry, actually. This is the truth, because that man really dealt with them and they ran away. They remember coming out to ask for help. Like, that brought so much problem that black people refused and told them, not until you start speaking up. And I will never, ever forget the language they use. That it is not in their culture to speak out that got black people. So it is in our culture to be mad because black people speaking up is crazy, right? They don't want to speak up, but they want you to speak for them. See, majority of the things happening to them are something very, very avoidable. And there is, I saw a video of a black brother. I bring him here so much. I love him with all my heart. I mean, I don't mean anything when I say I love him. I love him as a brother, a big brother, right? He said he went for protest. That some, I mean, like, while he was saying that he went for protest, I do not have any problem with people going for protest. That is your personal choice. But when you started dropping some comments about your own people, which is also my own people, that makes your intention a little bit shady. Now, let me be very clear. I do not have problem if people protest. That is great if you go out to protest, but do not force another person to go and protest because you are protesting. You are also violating the person's human right. The person have the right to vote and be voted for. The person have the right of freedom of speech and to protest and all that. That is the person's right. You also, if you have the right to protest, and you also have the right to sit back if you do not want to protest. So please, it is not great. It is not cool that because you went out to protest, other people should have come. No, it doesn't work that way. Go and protest and go back home in peace and stop disturbing people that do not want to protest. Majority of, like I said before, majority of the things that happened or that is happening now are something very much avoidable. The problem is that some people do not listen. Some people do not apply wisdom. Wisdom is very profitable to human beings. When you do not apply wisdom, when some certain things are happening to you, you will repeat your history and you'll continue to repeat it. And I hope everything going on today, yesterday, and other days are something people will sit back and think of. It's a very teachable moment, a moment to learn, understand, deconstruct, and all that. But if you fail to do all this, right, you will repeat what is going on today, some other time, and then it will be to cause you people more problems. I am going to draw the curtain here. I appreciate you all, Black people. Thank you so much for standing on business, because I really do love the fact that you said that you are not going out and you are not going out. There is a time in human life that you make a decision and you stand on it. That doesn't mean that you are wicked. That doesn't mean that you do not care about other people. You do care, because you all are also doing other things, boycotting and all that. It is so that you will also learn your lesson and other people will learn their lesson. And there is nothing wrong in learning lesson. Bye for now.